Welcome back to another episode of the KarterKast. I'm your host, Karter Baughan. On today's show, can the Commanders win the NFC East in a down NFC East this year? Davante Adams wants out of Las Vegas. We discuss the best fits and where he might get traded. Also get into Joe Flacco might be a blessing in disguise starting for the Colts now over Anthony Richardson after his injury. We get into that. We preview Bills Texans. We preview the London game, Jets Vikings, and we get to touch on every other game in the NFL slate for Week 5. And also, as always, at the very end, stay tuned. We do a KarterKast NFL Week 5 parlay. Let's get into the show. We're live. We've got NFL Week 5 preview. This is getting crazy. We're getting in the thick of this. We're college football Week 6, NFL Week 5. It actually, typically we sit there, we're like, oh, it feels like yesterday it just started, Dylan. No, it feels like NFL Week 5 to me. It feels very much like,
Does it really?
Yeah, it feels like I've seen 4 full weeks of football.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's fair. To me, in college football, we've had one big game. The NFL, we're still like figuring things out. It still feels like there's so much ahead of us, but the problem is, I know in a month I'm going to blink and it's going to be November. Thanksgiving's coming up. We're doing our Thanksgiving food draft, and I'm like, where'd the season go? So like, it turning October is the first like, oh boy, this is getting kind of real.
Weather's changing a little bit outside.
Oh, it's so nice.
Getting a little cooler.
Yeah. So nice.
It's kind of toasty back. I'm back in Carolina right now. It's a little toasty. It's like 82. It should not be in the 80s.
We've had that in Ohio. It's been miserable. Like 80, 88, 85, and just muggy. We got a big storm that came through that cooled everything down. But like, yeah, absolutely. I'm ready for fall weather, and I think we get it next week. The only problem is I'm going to have to mow. I'm anti-mowing. No, absolutely not. Anti-mow.
Anti-mow. But you're an old white guy.
It doesn't matter. Like I'm not a big fan of upkeep. This is something like, okay, Inside Dylan minute. You ever play The Sims as a kid?
Yeah.
Or like Sim City or whatever, where the buildings deteriorate and all that. Like, I always thought that was the stupidest thing. Like, why do I have to upkeep these things? Why don't they just stay nice? And then I realized once I'm an adult, God forbid when I have kids, upkeeping is going to be my whole life.
Yeah.
Owning a house, upkeeping is my whole life, doing the dishes. And I can already hear the comments. I don't have a dirty house. I do upkeep. I just hate the act of having to upkeep.
I think the comments are going to say your mom's just going to clean everything for you because you're your mom's basement.
She did.
She yell up the stairs and be like, hey, Mom, let's go.
She was... Okay, another Inside Dylan minute. My mom
she
did my
tucked me
laundry.
in until I was 18. What?
She did my laundry until I bought this house. Like college, I was living at the house. She was doing my laundry. Mom goated.
Privilege.
There's no problem with that. Take advantage of that while you can, Dylan.
Yeah.
All right, so
I'll go home and Grandma she'll be like, "Oh, sweetie, bring home any clothes you want washed." She hates that I dry my clothes all the way. So she wants to do it so I don't dry my clothes all the way.
Should we talk about Davante Adams?
Let's do it.
I guess.
Speaking of washed.
Speaking of laundry, washed. Davante Adams on the trade market now. He's doing interviews too on there. She's like, yeah, I don't know if I'll play another down for the Raiders, and they want a second round pick for him right now. To be honest, I only three possible spots for Davante Adams. I think it's Jets, Cowboys, and Chiefs. Other than that, I don't know why you would go ahead.
Here's what I went public with the Chiefs take from the KarterKast socials, and I got absolutely roasted.
Fair.
Why would they trade this guy in? No, it's not fair because what are they asking for him?
What do you mean?
They're asking the argument for saying. What are you saying right now?
I'm saying,
what are you saying?
I'm agreeing with you. I think that when people get mad about, they're in their division, they shouldn't trade with each other. I think it just depends on the scenario. If you're competing for the division, very different. The Raiders are clearly trying to bottom out here and get a better draft pick. Therefore, take the best deal possible.
But no, Karter, all I'm hearing is that you're setting up the Chiefs for years of success. You're setting up the Chiefs for 4 more Super Bowls. And I'm thinking to myself, they're asking for a second rounder. This guy, all I hear online is this guy is 30 plus. He's not what he used to be. then why is it a problem if you trade him to the Chiefs? Why is it even an issue if you send him to the Chiefs? I don't understand the rhetoric that's happening right now with the Davante Adams to the Chiefs pushback. I don't think that's a problem. I think the Cowboys are probably someone. I understand we're not all on the Cowboys, but they need receiver help. And is there a Stephon Diggs like quality you see with Davante Adams?
As far as what, like locker room or on the field?
Locker room, off the field. He always seems to be complaining about something.
I feel like in Green Bay there wasn't really that problem.
Yeah, I think it might be because he's getting with Derek Carr and Gardner Minshew now.
What's the quote about character, though? It's what you do when nobody's looking, or like when things are going well. Yeah, of course you're not going to have any problems, but what I want to see is how you act when things aren't going well.
You're talking about professional sports in 2024. That's not going to happen.
Maybe we need change.
The moment they lose a game, we're going to the media. We're going public with it. We're like, a little unhappy. Darius Garland unhappy in Cleveland, or Davante Adams might not play another down in Las Vegas. It's like, all right.
Yeah, also, he's an elite wide receiver in the NFL. what are we doing here? I think the Jets are also...
That gives you an excuse to be a turd on the sidelines? No, it doesn't.
No, I'm saying that's just how it goes right now in the NFL.
Well, if the Chiefs don't get Davante Adams, guess who's coming right back? Tyreek Hill next year. So it doesn't even matter either way. The Chiefs are going to win 4 more Super Bowls. If you're the Chiefs, though, I'm sure you guys agree with me. Number 1, it's the most fun answer for football in general. Number 2, you got to pay that extra tax. If the Raiders are going to be like, you're in the division, we want an extra pick, we want this, we want that, I think you have to do it. Especially with Rashee Rice probably having a torn ACL, Hollywood Brown still out. Your number 1 receiver all of a sudden is a rookie Xavier Worthy, and then Juju Smith-Schuster, and then Travis Kelce, who I'm not going to speak on because every time I do, somehow it gets turned into a clip on the KarterKast socials, and I get ran through the mud for it. So Travis Kelce's the best tight end in football history. Still, if you're the Chiefs, you pay that extra tax for Davante Adams.
So I don't, obviously speculation on the show doesn't make for good content, but I did see a tweet yesterday. Do you follow any of those doctors that like do sports injuries and they're like fantasy football? Like
no, but they pop up on my timeline.
One guy said yesterday, do not put Rashee Rice on your waivers. So I don't know what he saw that maybe makes him think that it's not as bad as it was, or he could be wrong. This guy seems
a second opinion.
Yeah, and this guy seems to be right most of the time, but I think the Chiefs is a great destination, and I don't buy into the whole you don't sell to a divisional rival. It's like you're not doing anything in the first place. And how long I don't even know how long Davante's contract is for. Like how long is he actually going to be wherever he ends up?
And this is like a life lesson here. Everyone has a price. If the Chiefs offer the Raiders the best deal by far, guess what they're going to do? They're going to trade to the Chiefs. They're not going to be like, oh, we're going to compete for the division next year. I think hopefully they're pretty self-aware. The Chiefs are going to be better than them no matter what.
And the reason the Chiefs should
they do.
Everybody has a price. The reason the Chiefs should go after him too is you can't screw around with these Super Bowl years. You only get so many chances as with a healthy Mahomes and everybody else healthy around this team. I understand the Chiefs is a little bit different, but if Mahomes is healthy, you can't screw around. You can't get cute and say, all right, we're going to run Juju and Xavier Worthy out there. That you're going to get caught in the playoffs if you do that. You should go after this if Rashee Rice is hurt for an extended period of time. I think you pay a little extra and go for it because guess what? Yeah, second, third round pick, whatever you give up, I think it's worth it regardless.
I think I hear what you're saying. I understand the point that you're making. I think the difference for the Chiefs, though, is that I think we've seen that window is more likely to be extended by whatever cast of characters Mahomes has. So it's like, even if you don't go get Davante Adams, and let's say you have to make it work with Xavier Worthy and Juju Smith-Schuster, like history has shown us that not having Rashee Rice doesn't close the Super Bowl window. So it's like, it would be nice, but I don't know if you're wasting years not going out and getting him.
In years past, typically I would agree, but last year, if the Chiefs don't have Rashee Rice, we're talking about Brock Purdy as Super Bowl champ. Commanders, they are sneaky the story of the NFL this week right now with Jaden Daniels and how awesome they've been. Can they win this division? Can they win the NFC East right now? Is that crazy to say, Connor?
I don't think that's crazy because if you look at the rest of the division, I've been on the Philly train. I was banging the Philly drum since the offseason. But this division winner probably only needs, 9 wins at this point? Maybe 10? The way Jaden Daniels has been playing, I don't know if a division title is necessarily going to happen this year, but I know what it has done. It's accelerated the Commanders' timeline, and they need to be in play for some of these guys next offseason where they stack their roster with these contracts while he's still on a rookie deal. And we talk about this a lot. We've seen it in other sports too, like go back to LeBron. Like LeBron was good right away or Luka was good right away. You got to take advantage of these guys on rookie deals. We saw it with Burrow as well in the NFL. And then also the Commanders, here's the thing. I would say they're in contention for a division title. They have the 29th easiest remaining schedule. Philly has the easiest. I still think Philly has enough games that they should win to where they'll get 10 wins, and that wins the division.
You're still doing this Philly thing?
If they get 10 wins, they're winning the division. Dallas has the hardest schedule left, second hardest schedule left behind the Panthers.
Oh, shit.
Shockingly enough. But
who leads the league in turnover-worthy plays?
Probably Jalen Hurts. I don't even need to look at it.
Just wanted to get
But
that
if they
out there.
have 9-10 wins, I think that wins this division. I really do. So I think the Commanders are in contention, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think it'll be close.
Can they win the division? Go ahead, Karter.
No. You go ahead. Go ahead.
Can they win the division? Of course. They're 3-1 right now. They're in a great spot. Here are my concerns about that, right? And I still very much believe in the Cowboys. I am on the Cowboys train still. Obviously, I'm not bought in on the Eagles. I don't think the
I
Giants.
was going to say,
are
you're on
good.
the Cowboys train. So how's that much better than what I'm saying?
Then what?
Being
The
on
Eagles?
the Eagles train. I'd feel a lot better being on the Eagles train right now. How about that, Dylan?
You've got a doofus as your head coach. You've got a head coach that's spinning
It's
a
not
wheel
my
and
head
make
coach.
decisions on
It's
the
not my
sideline.
head coach.
Well, no, if you're on the train, that's your head
No.
coach. And you can't just hop on the train and say, "Oh, I don't trust the conductor." Well, what are we doing here? You can't just say I'm on the Eagles train. Listen, the Commanders, they're very exciting, and this is going to, if this gets clipped and we send it out, it's going to get misconstrued. I think they're a very fun team. I think the offense is very good. There are some issues with this defense, and we're looking at, they allow 33 points to the Bengals. Bengals are a fine offense. The Buccaneers, they allow 37 in their only loss, and I don't think the Buccaneers are as good as what their record shows. We've seen the offense look good against two really bad defenses. Cincinnati Bengals and the Arizona Cardinals. So I would say it's a sell spot for the Commanders, but it's really hard to sit here and say, oh, they can't win the division when they're 3-1 and sitting at the top of it. And have they have the best rookie quarterback this year.
And this weekend,
so far.
real quick, I think this weekend's kind of a comeback down the earth spot. I think this Browns defense is going to muck it up. And them getting 3.5 against Jaden Daniels, I know he's been awesome. I think this might be a sell spot on the Commanders, at least for this week.
This is luck rankings game in favor of Browns. Yeah, so.
This is Dylan. You took the words right out of my mouth. This is a sell high spot for the Commanders. The defenses they've played, this offense, their stats are so inflated right now. You play the Cardinals, you play the Bengals, you play even the Giants, and you look at the Buccaneers. The game was 37-20. Those 20 points were inflated too, because then it was just the Bucs playing soft coverage in the second half and Jaden Daniels just running in touchdowns in the second half. So I think this is a sell high spot. Go ahead.
Keep in mind the Giants game. Those were 7 field goals.
Yeah,
even against the Giants, this wasn't like an offensive showcase. They didn't score touchdowns. So there are things like it's really hard to take anything away from Jaden Daniels, because I think being a rookie quarterback and coming into a situation that is not ideal. They had an awful offensive line last year. It isn't great this year. It's a little bit better. And making this work, 3-1 is a huge win for the Commanders this year. If you told them they were starting the season, they would not believe you. So I don't want to take anything away, but adding context to that, the offenses look great against bad defenses, and the defense hasn't really made a stand maybe against the Cardinals, but the Cardinals might not be as good as what we think. I don't know. So
I love the Browns this week.
Yes.
I love give me the Browns plus 3.5. It's gross. It's sticky, but guess what? I can't wait till Sunday morning. I'm going to place it probably right after we get off here. I can't wait for that tweet Sunday morning. 86% of the money are on Commanders and Jaden Daniels to cover the spread today and money line. And then you're going to see the game. It's 18-16 Browns win.
Yeah, in these next 2 weeks, talking about a sell high spot for the Commanders, you go up against Cleveland and then Baltimore's defense. And I just think that's going to be a big wake-up call, especially for this Commanders defense. You'll talk about them winning the division. Going up against Baltimore in 2 weeks, Derrick Henry might have 300 rush yards. I mean, genuinely. I don't know. And then the following week, the Panthers, powerhouse there. So 3 tough games in a row.
I think we're getting Pac-12 after dark with Commanders Panthers. I think that total might be in the 60s because those defenses can't stop anybody.
I can't wait. This is a big look ahead, but was it week 8 against the Bears? Jaden Daniels versus Caleb Williams. I can't wait for everything that's going to come out of that game.
Oh, all the narratives.
I
can't wait for that one either. Caleb Williams, man, that guy, he is getting bailed out right now. This guy is just squeaking by, and all of a sudden you're like, hey, the Bears are 2-2. Congrats. And you're like, how?
You know how quarterbacks, like for Christmas or whatever, will buy their offensive line all like golf carts or whatever. I think Joe Burrow did that one year. Caleb Williams is going to be in the broke house because he's going to have to do it for his offensive line and his defense for bailing him out.
And the special teams, maybe.
And the special teams.
Yeah.
And the teams he's played because they're choking away things.
He should buy Will Levis like a new car or something.
He should buy Will Levis.
Oh, yeah, I see. Maybe some glasses. Better help sponsorship.
Mason Rudolph season.
To close, the Commanders, can they win the division? They could. I think we're a year early. I think we kind of see them falter off. We're not on fraud watch or anything. We're not saying that, but they have played easy defenses, and I do think, Dylan, I know you're not going to like this, either Philly or Dallas will still win this division. I think the Commanders can give them a run, but I don't think.
Why are we discounting the Giants?
You know what? You're right, Carter.
I think they win this week.
The Giants?
I forget who they play, but I think they win. The Seahawks, I think they win.
The Seahawks? Yeah. Stop.
Yeah, I think so.
Now you're blinded by the Detroit game. Stop.
No. Let's talk about the Seahawks right now because I 100% agree with you on the Seahawks right here. I think they played the 3 worst teams in football, and that just made us think the Seahawks are fantastic. They're complete fraud watch.
I'm not going fraud watch. I just said that because the Giants have a huge rust advantage. They have like 3 days rust advantage because they played on Thursday Night Football, and you're getting 6.5 points. You don't think there's a
bit of fraud watch?
No, I think the Lions are a very good team. We've discussed this, and the things that I wanted to see from the Seahawks, I have seen even throughout the Lions game. Like, you have to keep in mind, the Lions are one of the best offenses in the league. We just hadn't seen it yet up until last week. Jared Goff going 18 for 18 and catching a touchdown. That's the equivalent of Shohei Ohtani pitching a perfect game and then hitting a home run. Just saying.
Okay, but they gave up 42 points, and it was barbecue chicken all day for that Lions offense. I understand the Lions offense is one of the best in the league. I understand that. But
sure,
when they go against the Broncos, Patriots, and Dolphins without Tua, it's very easy to make that defense all of a sudden look great. And they still gave up 20 to the Pats and 20 to the Broncos. I have real concerns about the Seahawks team, and they're a borderline playoff team, barely sneak into the wild card if they're lucky, I think.
I want to hone in talking about the defense, specifically the tackling. And I think that is something, because we saw it was...
Is Seattle better? That was hard to watch.
Huh? Yeah, I know.
Oh, sure. Yeah, sure. Right. Yeah. It wasn't great, but last year we saw this tackling unit be so bad, and tackling is the one defensive trait I think that you play a bad team, right? You play the Patriots, you play the Broncos, you can still tackle well and have that be a positive you take away. And I have seen the Seahawks tackle better than they have last year. That is part of what I wanted to see. Now, is the performance against the Lions a little concerning? Sure. The Lions are a great offense, though. I'm not writing off this Seahawks team because of the performance. I do think this week the rest advantage for the Giants is going to be a huge advantage, and there's no world where they should be getting 6.5 points.
So I know they just lost, so this might not apply, but could this be a look-ahead spot to Thursday against San Francisco? They play on the short week this week.
The Giants do?
No, the Seahawks play San Francisco on Thursday.
Yeah.
And also, there's a real chance they don't win a game, and if you think the Giants are going to win on Sunday, then they probably won't win a game in October.
Yeah.
Giants, Niners, Falcons, Bills.
Falcons.
That's a gauntlet.
Yeah, that's pretty tough.
I'm a little worried about the Falcons.
Also, if how are you not concerned about the tackling against the Lions in this game?
You can be concerned. You can see. There's two things. You can be concerned about it, and then you can also be like, "This isn't going to be the normal going forward."
And
right.
It's also I think using the 4-game sample size we have, it's looked better than last year, and that's what I wanted to see when Mike Macdonald takes over as head coach. Are these things going to get fixed? It does look better. Is it great? No. Are they the 2022 Baltimore Ravens defense? No. But it looks better than what it has before, and I think that is what the goal was when they hired Macdonald.
I'm putting my hand on the fraud button. Just it's not getting pressed yet, but
okay,
we might. If we see the Giants go in there and take care of business against Seattle, then we're hitting that button.
What's take care of business look like?
Yeah, think about what you just said, Carter. The Giants taking care of business.
I don't think that D-line's that bad.
Carter, what's taking care of business look like? We need this on the record before they win by 1 point, and you're like, "Oh, I'm the Seahawks. I'm panic button."
I mean, if you lose to the Giants at home, if you lose to the Giants at home after losing on Monday Night Football,
with
I'll
a
get
3-day rest disadvantage,
I'll get back to you on that one. I want to talk about the Colts.
Okay, all right.
What, Dylan? You sound mad.
The Giants have 3 extra days to get ready for this game. I don't think it's that crazy to think that the Giants win this game. They have 3 extra days to prepare. You have the Seahawks coming off of a tough matchup against the Lions on Monday Night Football, looking ahead to Thursday Night Football against the 49ers. Like this, it would not be a crazy thing for the Giants to win this game.
Yeah, and I agree with you.
Everything's going right for them.
I think the Giants can win this game.
Okay, but you're getting ready to hit the pan. Like, it doesn't say anything about the Seahawks. It's a product of circumstance.
But it does.
Hey, Karter. Colts. Are the Colts a contender with Joe Flacco?
Way to move it along, Dylan.
Are the Colts? I was trying to move it along. Colts. Joe Flacco, man, was this the best thing to happen to the Colts with Anthony Richardson going down?
I want to pose a question.
Okay.
We saw what Joe Flacco did with the Browns last year. Why is he not a starting quarterback anywhere? Like, it seems like we've seen enough from him last year. We saw enough from him last year for him to have a starting spot somewhere. Why is he a backup?
Because you can't sell it to your fan base.
I know we can list quarterbacks he's better than. Yeah, exactly. It's like, where would he start this year? Who would he start over? It's either guys that are clearly better than him and should start, or guys that are young enough to where the team still wants to see something out of them, or like they still believe in them or whatever.
You're telling me he couldn't be the starting quarterback at the Raiders?
He could be, but they went with Gardner Minshew instead of him. Like, that was the Raiders thing where it's like, we're going to get Gardner Minshew, we're going to get this veteran to pair with O'Connell, not Joe Flacco. Like, there's just not a situation for him to go start in right now.
But that's what I'm saying is, are you bought in on the fact that Gardner Minshew is better than Joe Flacco? Like,
no, I'm not. But that's what I'm saying. Like, there's no reason for them to have both of them. They chose the Gardner Minshew path. Like,
okay, so that's let's rewind before they chose the Gardner Minshew. Let's say it's June, and you're assessing what your quarterback situation is going to be for the year. And I'm using Las Vegas as an example because nothing else comes to mind. It seems like some team out there that needed a quarterback could have gotten Joe Flacco. Like, it doesn't seem to me that he's a second string guy after what he did.
Should have gotten him?
Who?
Real quick, the Dolphins should have run to Joe Flacco because if you know Tua is an injury risk like this, and if he gets hit the wrong way, he's out for the season. Why would you not put all your stock into a backup quarterback like that? Now all of a sudden you got Skylar Thompson, and then you have to scramble to get Tyler Snoop Huntley. Like,
Pro Bowler.
If you're the Dolphins, why don't you go get Joe Flacco for that 1 or 2 year rental to have his insurance? Because imagine Joe Flacco with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. It would look a hell of a lot better than Tyler Huntley does right now, or especially Skylar Thompson.
You have 32 starting quarterbacks. It's very hard for me to believe that Joe Flacco is sitting outside that top 32 after what he did last year. And
that's fair.
Teams don't believe that.
He's also 39, so I feel like the thought around the league was that's not happening again. And it very well might not. He started for half a game. And
he is also the guy, like, I thought about this morning. It's like he is going to be the guy moving forward. Is like you want to go get him as a second string just in case he needs it. Like, he's proven that he can step in that role and be serviceable. So I get that. But the question specifically about Joe Flacco leading the Colts to the playoffs, you see a contrast between Anthony Richardson and Joe Flacco. I don't know what Colts fans want. Like, Anthony Richardson is more exciting. He's going to turn the ball over more. but Joe Flacco is going to game manage, and maybe that's something that the Colts need. The defense is average. I hate to give this as an answer, but I don't know. I don't know if he can or not.
This is the classic. We say this all the time, but this is the classic. Anthony Richardson gives you a higher ceiling, but a lower floor. Joe Flacco, you know what you're getting from him. He's going to come in and manage the game. He might throw a pick or two, but he's not going to make that stupid, like, game-losing turnover or have, like, a complete dud game. He's going to throw for 250 yards in a playoff game, no matter what. Anthony Richardson could win you a playoff game. He's that good. He's that exciting, but he's probably not going to win you a Super Bowl. He could have that stinker of a game. And if you're a Colts fan, obviously you want Anthony Richardson in. But here's the thing with the Colts. They have the second easiest remaining strength of schedule. They play Jacksonville and Tennessee twice in their division, obviously. New England, Miami, Denver, New York Giants. Like, those are all winnable games. I really do feel like those are all winnable games. And if you look at the AFC, the bottom of the AFC sucks. It does. Yeah. Like, it really does. So if you're the Colts and you actually sit down and run through the AFC playoffs, Kansas City in, Houston in, Buffalo in, Baltimore in. I've got the Jets in. And then the last two spots are who? Chargers, Colts. Maybe the Bengals sneak in. But, like, the bottom of the AFC is terrible. I don't think Pittsburgh gets in. That's a hot take. But I think there is a world where Joe Flacco leads this Colts team to the wild card. And I don't think it's crazy for them for that to happen at all. I do say the rush defense is bad. They're second to last in the NFL with 165 rush yards allowed per game. But I think there's a world where the Colts are a wild card team, even with Joe Flacco.
But then let's say Joe Flacco takes him to the playoffs. What decision do you make in the offseason? Do you say, all right, 40-year-old Joe Flacco, let's run it back? Or do you say, you know what, Anthony Richardson, let's do it again?
You have to do it again because as injury prone as he is, and, like, you know, what we've seen has been exciting but not very consistent. He's only played what? How many games has he played in his career? 8 at this point? 8 games? So you have to run it back for the Colts with him.
It sounds like Connor might be in on Anthony Richardson.
No.
I don't know. That's what I'm hearing.
No, but
One
if you're
foot
the
in the
Colts,
door.
if you're the Colts, you have to run it back with Anthony Richardson.
I think you have to run it back as well. And yeah, no, I 100% agree. I think the Colts will make the playoffs with Joe Flacco as quarterback.
Well, it's between the Chargers, the Bengals, and the Colts for those last two wild card spots, probably, and I guess the Steelers. The Colts could be one of those two teams.
And you want to talk about a bad run defense? Holy crap! The Cincinnati Bengals, man, they couldn't stop me running through there. I would get 75 yards against the Bengals. So I love the Colts, and plus they get to play in one of the worst divisions in football right now. So that helps a ton for them.
Is his injury that bad? Like, is Richardson going to miss a bunch of time?
I don't know.
Hip injury is kind of weird. I feel like that's not one of the normal ones.
I think they're going to be very cautious. Be like, you know what? Take your time. Sit out. You know, we'll let Joe handle things. You go to a spa. Go get rehab done. You know, go do what you need to do to get healthy. We'll have Joe take care of things. He's just cleaning up the mess. Yeah.
It's just like sticking a piece of tape on like a huge leak though. Like, Joe Flacco's not getting anything probably past this year.
Oh no, Joe Flacco's Flex Seal. He's just Flex Seal. Connor, hypothetical quarterback trade.
The one I wrote down that I don't even know if I believe this, but I wanted to bring this up. What if you just took Jalen Hurts and swapped him with Dak Prescott? Who says no? Genuinely, who says no? I mean, I know the Cowboys just signed Dak to that massive extension, but they're both not great this year.
Both would say no,
yes.
But I don't hate it.
I just thought that was hilarious. Like, bitter rivals, just screw it. Like, new scene for both. I don't know. I just want to get y'all's take on that.
Would they trade head coaches?
Ooh.
I think Jerry Jones would. I think he would say, "Yeah, let's do it."
I think the Eagles would too.
Jalen Hurts. It's funny you bring Jalen Hurts up. Let's talk about Jalen Hurts for a second. 11 turnover-worthy plays. You might say, "Oh, Dylan Hayes, he has great wide receivers. He's been throwing it down the field early. Obviously, didn't have. Nope, he has like no drops. So, I don't know. I don't know if I'm. A lot of discourse on X this week about the Eagles' offense. I'm on standby. I'm on standby, boys. I'm watching closely. we might have another blow up.
They were missing Devonta Smith and AJ Brown. Let's keep that in mind.
Sure, they were, but
it was malpractice for Barkley to get 12 touches.
Fumbling the ball when you're running out of the pocket. It does not matter if you have Jerry Rice and Randy Moss lining up at wide receiver. Fumbling the ball when you're scrambling out of the pocket has nothing to do with who's lining up on the line of scrimmage.
Okay, so Dylan, all right, so answer me this. Here's a good question.
Okay.
How much better would you feel about the Eagles if they had Dak back there instead of Jalen Hurts? If we're doing hypotheticals, how much better would you feel about them with Dak? Yeah, let's do it.
I would have to say I feel better. Okay, you can't say me because I'm cheering on the Eagles' downfall. If I'm an Eagles fan and I am invested in the Philadelphia Eagles, I want them to win. I think I would feel better with Dak than Jalen.
There you go. That's what I wanted to hear. Karter, what about you?
To be honest,
take money out of it too. Take the contract out of it as well. I think that's important.
Just as a player.
I don't have a concern about the quarterback position. I really only have a concern about the head coach. I think the head coach it's so crazy what's going on right now in Philadelphia. I think what the Philadelphia Eagles should just do is what they did in The Office, where they just had no manager when Michael left, and it's just Creed running the show. Because I think Creed Bratton could lead the Eagles to a playoff appearance, and Nick Sirianni, the guy is second-guessing every single decision he makes and going with the wrong one every single time. It's, I want to do a fake tush push. Oh, yeah. The thing gets you a yard guaranteed every single time. Like, nah, let's be cute. Let's fake it real quick. This team's probably undefeated if Nick Sirianni just follows the instructions on his play sheet. It says, if he follows the ESPN analytics that just say go every time, if he just follows the analytics every single time, yeah, Sirianni and the Eagles are undefeated this season.
Go ahead, Dylan. I know you want to say something about that.
I really know. I can't do Eagles minute again. Like
that's fair.
That's fine. Then let's move on.
Yeah.
I have one more.
Go ahead
for the cast here. When you asked me to do hypotheticals, I was like, who could I bring up? Obviously, Dak and Jalen Hurts was a good one. How about this one? This one's a little more serious. What if you just swap Trevor Lawrence and Justin Herbert? What if you just did that? Because here's the thing. Two guys need a fresh start, maybe. Trevor Lawrence would finally have a great coach in Jim Harbaugh. Good system structure. Has not had that in Jacksonville since he's been in the league. And then I think if you're Justin Herbert, you're probably utilizing these Jags weapons a lot more than Trevor Lawrence has so far this year. I think that might be a win-win.
My one concern, and Connor, I know you touched on this when we did the AFC South preview. You talked about the drops for Trevor Lawrence. That problem has not solved itself. He still leads the league in drop rate, over 12%. So when we had that conversation on the recap shows, like Trevor Lawrence and the Jags, is it a problem? I don't know. 9 drops this year. That's not Trevor Lawrence. So it's
that's true.
And my problem
he still is missing a lot of throws, though.
That's true. My problem with Justin Herbert is the guy is never healthy. He is never fully healthy. He didn't even start the season fully healthy this year. So it's like, if you are Jacksonville, would you want to incur that risk? I don't know, but it is interesting. I could see Trevor Lawrence in that blue and yellow.
Yeah.
I like Trevor. I think it's a bigger win for Trevor Lawrence, in my opinion. If Trevor Lawrence goes to LA and gets to be with Jim Harbaugh, I think that's a way bigger win. Because also, you mentioned Justin Herbert's injuries. Imagine him in that Jags offensive line. The guy's not making it to Tuesday. He's going to be on the field. Go ahead.
If you had to handpick a coach to not fix Trevor Lawrence, but get him on the right path, I think Harbaugh's got to be top 3 coaches you would choose, right?
Oh yeah,
McVay, Harbaugh, Shanahan.
Yeah, maybe.
Dave Canales. Okay, let's move on. That's good. We got our one Panther thing in there. Let's quickly run through some games this week. We've got Jets Vikings, the London game. Vikings are a 2.5-point favorite. Real quick, is this the sell moment right here for the Vikings here, Dylan? Because I think it might be.
It's tough to say. Jets obviously have a great defense. The offense hasn't looked amazing to this point. It hasn't looked amazing. Like I said on the recap show, I want to see Sam Darnold go down and have to lead his team to a comeback, because we've seen.
You want to see Sam Darnold go down?
No, that's gonna get.
Put that on the quote card. Quote card.
That's tough.
Oh, man.
We don't root for injuries.
Carter, edit that up. Edit that up for us, Carter.
We don't root for injuries. I want to see the Minnesota Vikings. I can't even say go down. Lose.
Well, I wasn't talking about injuries, Dylan.
Oh, wow. Okay. I want to see the Minnesota Vikings be losing at some point in this game because I want to see how Sam Darnold reacts. It's like they've been in the lead for all these games, and they're able to just run the ball. Aaron Jones, Ty Chandler have been amazing. One or the other, pick your game. But the Jets defense, this is going to be the toughest test they've ever seen. I think the only solution here is to go back to our roots. Lunder.
Little under? I like the
London
under.
under.
Here's the thing. I think this is a perfect buy low spot for the Jets. And this is risky going against Sam Darnold, who has caught fire this year. They're 4-0. If there was ever a spot to buy in on the Jets this year, I think this is it. Vikings have blitzed the most of any team through 4 games. Historically, Rodgers has been pretty good against the blitz, dissecting it, knowing what's coming. Vikings are pretty blitz happy. They're balls to the wall. If there was ever a time for a Garrett Wilson breakout game, it's this week. The Vikings give up the most pass yards per game. Asterisk, they jump out to early leads and game script. Like, that does play into it. But they do give up the most pass yards in the league right now per game. I think this is a perfect time to be like, man, the Jets have looked like crap. Like, we're in London. Sam Darnold's actually this good. The Vikings are for real. And then the Jets come out and win like 17-14 or something like that. I think this is a prime buy low spot for the Jets. I like them +3 in London, and I think the Jets actually win this game.
Do we have any concern about a Sam Darnold revenge game?
This has kind of been like a whole revenge tour for Sam Darnold. I don't think it's just locked into this one game.
That's what I'm saying. I think he's going to be very very, very, very happy to get a chance to beat the Jets. But I also agree. I think this is a great buy low spot for the Jets. Sneaky. Some are saying a must-win game for the Jets.
This would be a huge win for the Jets because everybody's kind of out on them right now after losing to the Bo Nix Broncos in horrible fashion in that pouring rain. Yeah. I think it's a great buy low spot.
And they looked terrible against the Titans and still won that game. And then you get the Pats win, but the Pats are terrible, so who cares about that? And then also, if the Jets lose this game, the media narrative, the locker room, things are going to start spiraling in New York. So it's not like a playoff must-win game. It's more so of a morale and how fragile that locker room is, where if they lose to the Vikings, yikes. But
it'll be a long flight back to the United States, I'll tell you that.
I refuse to bet on a side in this game because I will not. If I take a side, I'm taking the Vikings. They've been too good to me, and I will ride this Vikings train till the bitter end this season. I have to. I love this Vikings team so much, and I just don't like this Jets team. I have real concerns about this offense. Like, why is Breece Hall and Bijan Robinson? Why are they terrible running backs all of a sudden? This is crazy. Bijan, maybe he's just not that great of a running back, and we just got fooled.
That's not
tough when you have Tyler Algier looking over your shoulder. A lot of pressure.
I like that. Bills Texans, Dylan. Bills Texans. This is the all-time. We talk about a bounce back spot. This is all time for the Bills.
It's like the Bills roller coaster was like Monday Night Football Jags, Sunday Night Football Ravens, and then it's going to go right back to Bills against the Texans. And this is, I'm going to do selfless plug here, a kickoff show. We do Mondays or Tuesday mornings. We got Bills +102. Now they're favored by, I think, 1.5. This is the ultimate buyback spot on the Bills. And you look at the Texans and how they've played so far. Their offense has been fine, but they have the loss to the Vikings, blowout loss, I will say. Close win against the Colts. I'll say close. 1 possession win against the Bears. 1 possession win against the Jaguars. This is the time to buy back on the Bills. This is get right game for them. I think this Houston Texans team, I'm not ready to put them on fraud watch, but I think that maybe a lot of their hype coming from last year, they just don't look like the same team. And I saw that tweet from Stuckey, teams start playing cover 2 on them, take away the explosives. That is a lot of what attributed to Houston's success last year was those explosive plays. So I love the Bills in this spot. By far my favorite play of the week. Spoiler alert, probably going to be my parlay pick.
Don't hate it.
The Texans have had 0 convincing wins so far. They have yet to play a complete start to finish game and where I feel good about them. And they're supposed to be an elite team. Like, you're right, Dylan. I think a lot of this hype, they're out kicking their coverage a little bit because we think about last year and how they were this surprise team and Stroud was so good and with a rookie quarterback and the Texans were so exciting. And this year we just automatically labeled them as one of the top 5 teams in the NFL. They haven't looked like that so far. Even with this good record, I have yet to be convinced by this Texans team. And it could come down the line. Like, week 10, week 12, I could be sitting here being like, the Texans are awesome. But until I see that, I'm not willing to bet on them. So I like the Bills here. I think Josh Allen's going to have a great bounce back game after that game against Baltimore. And there's a reason this line's moving towards Buffalo, even though it's in Houston. So I love the Bills here.
Love the Bills here. I've been on the Texans concerned watch. Concerned watch.
Concerned citizen watch.
Yeah, pump the brakes, as one might say on this podcast.
Of course.
I love the Bills here, and I think Josh Allen's going to want to prove a point on Sunday against Stephon Diggs and this Texans team. Dylan,
I didn't even think about that. Yeah,
that's a great storyline in this game. I also think Stephon Diggs anytime touchdown, just take that as well, because he's going to be out for it too. But this is all Bills here. This is all Bills here. We're finally seeing the Texans play one of the top teams in football. This is their first team. They're finally playing an elite team. You look at who the Texans have played so far this season. They're 3-1 right now. They've played the Colts with Anthony Richardson, the Bears, the Vikings. What happened in the Vikings game? 34-7, got demolished.
Waxed.
Jaguars. Their 3 wins, I said this on the recap show, their 3 wins are against 3 of the dumbest coach teams in football right now. Not dumbest coach. Maybe dumbest. They might just be the dumbest teams in football right now, for being honest. Right
3
now.
of the worst 5 quarterbacks in football this year. Trevor Lawrence, Caleb Williams, Anthony Richardson. How about that?
Yeah, and you go back and you look, the Jags, well, they won by 4, not a bad game. The Jags, I don't know how the Jags lost that football game. I went back and watched the 44-minute replay. I don't understand how the Jags lost that football game. I also don't understand how the Colts didn't win that football game. And the Bears had the ball with 2 minutes left to go and win that football game against the Texans. The Texans give everybody chances. And if you give Josh Allen that chance, he's going to win that game every single time. Bills money line all the way here. I love the Bills. I don't care we're doing the college game day graphic. Give me the Bills here. Let's quickly run through a bunch of games real quick, and then we'll get out of here. We've got Bears, Panthers, the Bryce Young, Caleb Williams trade bowl, I guess you could call it that. Gross game. Well, give me the Panthers.
Well, Bryce Young's not playing.
No, I know, but the trade, the whole trade.
Oh,
yeah. But so
I will say this opened at Panthers +5. It's already down to 3.5.
Yeah, I don't. This Bears team, Caleb Williams. I'm keeping an eye on you, buddy.
People can't quit the Panthers, and we're those people. But it's warranted for us. But like bettors can't quit the Panthers.
Yeah, you're preaching to the choir. It's a true addiction. Like I might have to go to rehab for this Panthers fandom. Dolphins, Patriots. Group game of the week.
I was gonna go Bears, Panthers.
Oh, but here's the thing with Bears Panthers, Dylan. It's either going to be an Andy Dalton masterclass or it's going to be Caleb Williams' first breakout game in the league. It's going to be one or the other.
I'm not ruling out a scenario where this is like 6-6, 4 field goals.
Oh man, you're right. You're actually right.
No. The Panthers defense is not good enough.
Okay.
Is Caleb Williams in that offense good enough?
Yeah. And the Panthers lost their best player on defense and their second best player on defense with Shaq Thompson going down. So that Panthers run D is going to be free money. Colts, Jags. Holy crap, man. We might have a loser leaves town right there. Jags are a 3-point favorite in that game. I don't know where to go in that one.
Let me tell you, if Anthony Richardson was starting, I would be all over the Jags. But I don't know about Joe Flacco. I don't know.
I want to take the Jags so bad, but I got to stay away. I got to stay away from my mental health.
They were good to us last week with a +7, but man, they almost blew that too.
We probably should have previewed this game, Ravens-Bengals. This is a phenomenal game. It's all Ravens in this one for me, Dylan.
You think the Ravens ran all over that Bills defense? Just wait till you see what they do to the Bengals. This is going to be Derrick Henry, 400-yard rush game. It's going to be insane.
So for OG listeners of this podcast, you remember the Derrick Henry Texans bet?
Yes.
Guys, throw everything on Derrick Henry to run for over 100+ yards.
I forgot about that bet. How did I forget about that bet?
I think we might have to do it for this game, Dylan.
I think we do. That makes all sense in the world. That is awesome.
I will say,
Go ahead.
With the this Bengals Ravens game, if the Ravens go up 2 scores early, I'm live betting the Bengals. I think there's a really solid scenario. If this game's close, the Ravens blow it.
Ravens have a track record of that too. I don't hate
exactly.
that at all.
Browns Commanders, we touched on that one already. Raiders Broncos, nap game of the week too. That should be a nap game. Holy crap. That's gonna be 14-16. Giants Seahawks. We already touched on that game, I guess. We like the Giants there, Dylan.
Give me the Giants to win.
I'm taking the Seahawks in that one. I got 5.5.
Spread?
Yeah, I got 5.5 when it opened.
Packers Rams. Packers are a 3.5-point favorite in Los Angeles. What a weird game that is. We'll finally see if Jordan Love's actually healthy. And also, this is a game where you're like, okay, Jordan Love's healthy. They got to win this game against the Rams. Sean McVay masterclass incoming. Just, all of a sudden, Tutu Atwell has 160 yards. How is this happening?
Jordan Whittington breakout game, anytime touchdown. Calling my shot.
And the ESPN, this is ESPN's just so horny watching this game.
Oh.
They are so jealous they didn't get this game on Monday Night Football. Cowboys Steelers, are you kidding me? That is a wet dream for this ESPN.
You know, they just let go of Zach Lowe. I thought it would be to buy this game and put it on ESPN, but I thought they're going to use the salary to do that.
Steelers are a 2.5-point favorite against the Cowboys.
Unreal. Dylan, I think I saw your bet slip on this, Dylan. Give me the Cowboys all day of the week and twice on Sunday. You're telling me Justin Fields in a spot like this is going to come out and win a game like that? And the Steelers' one calling card was their defense, which looked very subpar against Indianapolis last week. I'm taking the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys win, and I think this might be one of those games where the Cowboys win by like 2 touchdowns, and people are like, oh, Dallas is back, and the narrative starts, and the whole Dak hype train starts again. I love the Cowboys here.
This is the game we get Rusty, isn't it?
No, Fields is starting.
I know.
You think Rusty comes in?
He gets benched in this game.
But if you're Tomlin, you don't bring Russ Wilson for his first action as a Pittsburgh Steeler against the Cowboys off the bench when he's not expecting it. Yeah, I don't think so. I think they ride it out with Fields.
I think that's what I'm hoping for. Oh, also Cardinals 49ers. A lot of points in that one. I think you take an anytime touchdown. It might hit in that one.
Yep. I'm with you on that. Cardinals defense couldn't stop a parked car.
Yeah, let's do a parlay and get out of here. Ben's pick, Monday Night Football, Chiefs -4.5. I know you hate it, Dylan.
Buddy's new to the show. What's the one thing we don't do?
Bet against the Lions as the last leg of the parlay.
Chiefs as a field goal favorite or more. Don't do it. But hey, you know what? It's the groups parlay, and guess what I'm not going to do? Complain about it or text in a group chat and complain about it.
I didn't complain. I wrote it.
You complain.
I complained about the Seahawks, but I didn't complain about the pick.
Oh, we're never fading the Lions in the parlay again. Oh, Dylan.
One of us is, the rest of us have winning records, and the other one's 1-3.
Why don't you look at the whole portfolio? At least I'm not wasting money on touchdown score parlays.
Winners,
At least we're having fun, Dylan.
Yeah, at least I hit a $450 parlay. Anyhow,
give me Bills. Give me Bills. Tyjae Spears first touchdown.
Ooh, that's what I'm saying. I love it. There you go. All of a sudden, we're all wasting money. We're celebrating first touchdown. What's going on here, Dylan?
There you go.
Great thing about
Connor,
sports.
what's your pick?
We're going gross here, and people are going to hate this, but I think we're all going to like it. I'm going Browns +3.5 against Washington.
Don't hate it.
That was going to be my pick. I love it.
This is the spot. This is the spot for Cleveland.
I love it.
Sorry, I have to make you pivot here.
Yeah, I have to pivot here, but I think I kind of want to go really gross for this one.
Just take an under in one of those crap games and call it a day.
Yep. Raiders Broncos under.
Nice.
Yeah,
the Raiders Broncos under 35.5.
I see 36. I see 36 if you want to give yourself that half point.
Give me 36. I'll take any point I can get. I'll take any half point I can get on that one. That's gross.
I see. Yeah, 36. Yeah, 36.5 on MGM though.
I'll take 36.5.
There you go. It's minus 110 on MGM.
Anybody got a 37? Going once, going twice. All right, that's it for the show today. Make sure to follow us at Wilkerson A. Dillon, at _Sparrow, at Karter BA, at KarterKast on all social media. Subscribe to the YouTube. Download SeatGeek. Use code KarterKast. $20 off your first purchase. Rate, review wherever you're listening on Apple and Spotify. Make sure to tune in. College football show, NFL recap this weekend. Also, MLB. Dylan, you're doing MLB playoffs, all playoffs.
Love
this year,
the
right?
baseball content, Dylan.
Let's
Love
go.
the baseball
We're back.
cast.
Diverse.
Big win for the Padres and the Mets yesterday.
Yep.
Big win. But all right,
Thank you. Hey, thank you guys for bearing with me in my sickness. I'm going to go chug some Dayquil. I just want to say thank you guys. A lot of Kleenex beside me, so I'm sorry my voice is a little raspy, but we got through it. We
made it.
And I'm going to
We
go
did.
get some Biscuitville, so we'll wrap up there.
So good.
Biscuitville.
We'll see y'all next time.
Dylan.
Bye.